over that bait. Ooh. This is what happens when you throw a canyon crawl and they just, that's what's left of that bait. It looks like a little tube now. 17-pound test line. My big floppy jig head right there. It's a jointed jig head with a big 5/0 hook. You can see that. Now watch, we're gonna catch this fish. They can't stand this canyon craw from Cactus Shrimp. Tell them. They can't stand it so much. Look at this. Whoop! I gotta open a new pack. They grab the pinchers really hard, and when they grab and rip the pinchers off that hard, you can catch the fish. That white craw is unbelievable. Lightning white. And what I do is I bring that hook all the way through the bait, just like so. And then I skin the bait just like that, or the hook. So here we go. We're gonna try this again. Folks, this could be it. This fish ain't gonna be able to stand this. He's gonna grab it. The male's all over it, but we don't want the male. So you want the male to get agitated. Oh, got her. That's what I'm talking about, son. Come on. Believe this or not, the male's a lot smaller than that. All right, you're done. Give me that. Canyon craw strikes again. No pinchers left. Beautiful little fish to start with. It's a little female. I bet they've already spawned and she's just protecting the nest. But there's a little male there too. We'll let her go. All right, come on, man. Folks, today, we're gonna have a lot of fun. We're gonna do something totally different. We're at Lake Pleasant, Arizona, and it's a beautiful lake. The last time I was on this lake was in January, and I won a big Wild West bass tournament here. But I was fishing 60 foot of water. We're here, 1st of April. The fish are on beds. There's fish doing all kinds of different things here. This is when the bite should be wide open. We're gonna have some fun looking around, maybe a little top water. Maybe. We're gonna try some different things, see what we can't do to help you catch some fish right here at Lake Pleasant. Just to show you how well this bait does. Look, he's got the pinchers. Just to show you how well this bait does, we'll show you, even though this bait is huge, it really intimidates the bass. And the males can't stand it. And look, he ripped off both the pinchers, but watch this. Watch this. You've heard of tube fishing. There you go. Oh! You heard it too. Do you see how small that male is though? That male is really small, but he's still going after this big juicy bait, even though it doesn't have pinchers on it. I'm not even putting another one on, not for that little guy. Got him. All right, that's what I'm talking. Whoops. Ow. All right, enough flopping around. All right, you're done. All right, catch and release. See ya. And that's how it's done. But you gotta try to lift the fish. Look at my pinchers floating on top of the water over there. Both of them sitting there together. He hit that thing like a little tube. I guess the big thing about this is we caught the bigger fish off that bed, threw right back in there. The littler fish still crush this bait as big as it is, and that's what I was trying to show you. But when you fire them up like that, when they get that fired up, even though the pinchers came off, it has, with the little tentacles on the end, a tube effect. So it looks like a little tube bait. And if anybody knows what a tube bait is, it's an awesome bed bait. But that works out just great, even just like it is. It looks like a little creature without the pinchers. Either way, we caught 2 fish off the same bed. And that is the power of that canyon crawl from Cactus Wren. Let me tell you, it's a great bait. Oh, God. Fish came out and ripped me. Got it. Got it. Come on, little dude. Ooh, I barely got him hooked too, right in the corner of the mouth. Got him. Look at that. Barely got him in the corner of the mouth. Nice little fish. You know, a lot of folks go by and miss that a lot of these fish like to hang in this cover in these thick trees. That's why you use the heavy line, even for fish like that. You know, the 17-pound test line, and throw it in there. Now, I threw my spinnerbait in there and he took a whack at it. And that's the one thing about covering water and finding these fish this time of year is you can take your spinnerbaits, your topwater baits, like today, because the water's just a tad bit dingy back here. It's still clear enough to see a little bit, you know, down 4 or 5 foot, but it's still dingy enough to where what I like throwing is a couple of different baits. And what I'm throwing today is, you know, to find some of these fish is I'm throwing that topwater. It's but this right here, the spinnerbait, and it's made by Persuader American Angling. It's a great bait, kind of a shaddy bluegill type color. But what I love about this is this particular bait not only has maximum flash with the hammered blades on it, but check this out. If you take a good look at the back of this blade, there's a little chamber right there, and it's got a little rattle in it. And the thing is when that thing's thumping across there and has that little bit of a rattle, when it comes through the trees like that, these fish will come out and blast it. They hear it, they come up and just nail it. And in that little dingier water, and I love that. There's not another bait on the market like that. Persuader's the only one that makes that blade, and you can see how it's cut in. There's a little rattle chamber right there on the end of the blade, plus puts a little bit more weight on this willow leaf blade, and it has a good thump to it. But I originally brought that bait through that tree right there, and spinner baits are one of the #1 baits that you can throw to cover some water when you have a lot of bushes and trees, that you can actually bring this thing through and not get all hung up in it. So bringing it through the bush like that and installing it or bringing it across. Now he originally came out, look at that, he's gonna come out and look at it. That fish actually came out and looked at it. But they do not like that. And I just caught that fish. He did not like the looks of that bait. This particular bait is awesome. And then when you get into open water, one of the fun baits I like to throw, and a lot of guys like the Zero Spook. It's a great bait. But this bait right here made by Persuader is awesome. And I'll tell you what, it's called the Poppin' Walker. And you can see it's got beautiful colors to it, but it's not quite as, I'll show you a Zero Spook. It's about the same size as a spook. It's a little wider, but here's the difference. Look at this. Okay, here's your Zero Spook. Everybody's throwing these. This Poppin' Walker, see the lip on it? And it's got little holes in it. So it'll spit and chug through that water like that. You want to create a lot of commotion, especially when they're bedding up. Those big females can't stand all that commotion. They'll come up and just whack that bait. But you can walk this bait, plus it spits. We've done good at Apache with it, but this particular bait I'm covering a little water with in open water. And even if the fish don't hit this, a lot of times they'll show themselves and then you can turn around and catch them. But between that spinnerbait and this bait, you can kind of go around, cover some water till you see something actually reacting to it, or you might just catch them, but then watch where the fish goes back down, and that's what we did. Then we picked up our canyon crawl and caught the fish. So, you know, cover lots of water. If you're not seeing a lot of things, you know, you can just check things out, check the trees out, and a lot of times they'll be bedded up right in the middle of these trees, and you can't get them out with nothing but a spinnerbait a lot of times when you're coming down through there. So I'm gonna pick up my blade. You know, one thing that's real important, I'm using Taipan rods, and this is a medium heavy rod for my spinnerbait with 17-pound test fluorocarbon line. And then, like I said, with that Persuader spinnerbait, it's a great bait. Hopefully we'll catch a few fish on it just throwing it out there and reeling it in. But even if you don't, at least, you know, you can find the fish. A lot of times they'll show themselves. He whacked that bait when I wasn't paying attention the first time, and I went in there and caught him. But with Lake Pleasant being flooded out like this, and you got all these little bushes and trees, this is the perfect bait to go down the bank with and throw it over some of those brush piles. Got him! Got him on that spinnerbait, folks. That's why I throw that thing around right there. Not a giant fish, but he's a fish. He ate it. It's a little bit muddier back here, and I'm telling you, he's not a giant, but throwing it in these bushes, all these bushes right here hold potential fish, every one of them. And boy, there's nothing more fun than catching them on reaction if you can get them on reaction. That light wire spinnerbait, look how he spread that spinnerbait out now, let me tell you. So we'll just pinch it back. Make sure it's in tune. To tune your bait, you just gotta make sure that that arm is right over the hook. If it's not, you twist it and make sure it's straight over the hook. That way your bait doesn't roll. Oh, there's a monster. There's a monster on that bait. Well, not a monster, but a monster. He came right out of that tree, folks. That's what you're looking for. Come right out of that tree. That's exactly the kind of, look, he swallowed that bait. Yeah, look how far down he's got that hook. He swallowed the bait, swallowed it. Beautiful bass. Couldn't stand that. Couldn't stand that noise coming over top of that tree. Yeah, telling you, man. This bait's incredible, and it's light wire. So here's the deal, I'm gonna retie. But look how, you know, light wire is great because you get a good throb out of that thumping out of a light wire. A lot of guys like to use the light wire spinnerbaits. Problem being, you gotta constantly tune them up and eventually the wire breaks. But it doesn't mean it's not a good spinnerbait. A good spinnerbait catches fish and it has all the attracting and triggering qualities you need in a bait. And those light wire baits, make no mistake, are great baits. This bait is a great bait. They just came out with this on the market, this rattle chamber on the blade. And I'll tell you what, it's gonna be a hit for dingy or dirty water, I'm telling you. Hey folks, for my tip of the week, you know, we're throwing a spinnerbait today a little bit, and the one thing I want to tell you is when you're back here in a lot of this brush and you're in shallow water and you want the bait to kind of wake the water a little bit over top of the brush, one thing that'll help you a lot is, especially with these light wire spinnerbaits, is to close the clothespin type, the arm closer to the blade. If you close it a little bit closer to the blade, bend it a little bit closer to the blade, gives it a little bit lower profile, and what ends up happening is it actually pulls through the water a lot better and it won't turn on a faster retrieve. Now, if you're slowing it down and you want to bring it over slow, then just go ahead and widen the spinnerbait up a little bit, and that'll allow for a slow roll, a good throb. It'll thump really good. And of course, this is something you don't want to throw real fast because then the bait will start spinning, but you'll get a good thump this way with a slow roll. So if you're coming through the shallows, you can pinch that arm together, get it to where it'll run a little bit closer to the hook like that, and you'll be able to speed it up a little bit and catch a lot more fish that way in that 0 to 3 foot of water. You know, I got a lot of baits that I like to throw in the spring, but I'm just gonna dwindle down a few that I like to throw. Early in the spring, my soft jerk bait, my regular jerk bait. I love my spinner baits, I'll have those tied on. These are search baits, and of course the square bill. You always gotta have a Cinco or a small Kitech tied on. That's awesome. When I'm in the spawn, of course, I like my Canyon Craw from Cactus Wren Outdoors, and then I'll use a Rage Tail as well for the smaller fish. Going to the topwater season, my Poppin' Walker works good. Of course, the Rico's always one of my best bets this time of year. And you can't overlook the little Rapala minnow bait, just twitching it on top. Not jerking that in, just twitching it on top when it's glass out, and you'll catch a lot of fish early in the morning on that bait. Ah, there he is. Another fish on that persuader spinnerbait. That rattle, ooh. You know, good little buck bass. Come on. All right, you're done. You're done. You're done. You're done. You're done. You bent my spinnerbait all up, buddy. It's all good though. I just have another one, you know? You know what? A lot of these fish, like I said, when you get back here this time of year, if they're not on beds, they're watching fry. So you just never know what you're gonna get. You might have a big old female sitting out there, and I gotta retie again. You might have a big female sitting out in a tree waiting to move up. So you don't know what you're gonna get in there. It's always worth throwing in there, trust me. There's one right there. Oh, a good fish too. That's a good fish, folks. That's a real good fish. Easy does it, buddy. Easy does it. That's a good fish, man. That's a good one. Little Lake Pleasant bass. Oh yeah. Oh, that's what we're talking about. Persuader spinnerbait bass. Oh, come on. Ah, look at that fish. And would you believe, I don't know how I hooked that fish. He swiped at that bait and I caught him in the soft part of the mouth. But that's a beautiful bass. And I was just getting ready to say, don't ever think that you can't get some of these fish. That's a 3-pound plus fish. Get some of those fish behind the trees. You know, like where you see the bank and the bush, so many folks hit the front, the side, but they never hit right behind it. And that's what I did on that bush over there. And that fish came up and just creamed this bait. I'll tell you what, if you don't pick up some persuader baits with that little rattle in it, you're missing out. That little rattle really, I'm telling you, not only does the bait for a willow leaf blade bait have a great thump to it, like a Colorado blade, it's just the fish can hear it, and I'll tell you what, anytime they're up shallow, anytime they're watching over fry or in those trees, this bait will call them right out. And I'm telling you, it's an awesome bait. And don't forget about those canyon craws. I'm telling you, I had a blast. I got a second place finish on those things over at Roosevelt Lake this year, sight fishing with those baits. They're awesome baits. That lightning white is a great color. It's one of my favorite of all time just for bed fishing. Now they make other colors you can just throw out there and Texas rig or whatever, but that particular bait is great. I love it. It's big, it's bulky, and the fish don't like it. Lake Pleasant, and I know sometimes it's called Lake Unpleasant, but I'm telling you, this is a beautiful lake. The water is up. Get out and catch some fish. Till next time, we'll see you on the water. I'm Johnny Johnson.